Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. We are the 30 for 30 for independent music and independent artists, which means that you get depth, personality, and knowledge when it comes to the culture, the artist, and the craft that they have. And today, I have a person who celebrates hip hop culture by going beyond the music. You've seen him on here before if you know the blurred hop comic book side of Heritage Hip Hop, but he also has print media under his belt for other things as well. Please introduce yourself to the people.
What up, what up? This is Kalani Caraballo. I am the writer and publisher of Street Dreams Fanzine, which is an independent fanzine on hip hop. For those that don't know, a fanzine is a DIY magazine that is centered around one subject, and our subject is hip hop.
And this is my guy right here. This is my people. So there's a lot of respect when it's called. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to him and his family. You know.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Why is print media still necessary in hip hop in 2021, 2022?
Man, so it's gone away, man, as of years, as recent years, due to blogs and websites and kind of information being readily available, through Instagram, through Twitter, through Facebook. You kind of don't need a website anymore or a blog. You could just put it out right away. Then you have podcasts, so everything is existing in this kind of digital world, that's kind of being created now. And print media is important, man, to people that are into analog, man, people that are into holding physical things,
I miss the times when I could go to the corner store and there was a Word Up magazine, Jet magazine, Double XL, The Source, and King magazine. For everybody know about King magazine.
Yeah.
I miss those days because holding the magazine in your hand made it feel like you actually owned something tangible that was part of the culture.
Absolutely.
Why is ownership being taught, but we're not taught to own the precious memories that we have of the things that we love?
Not sure, man. You had to ask different people, man. There's people that don't mind, paying for air, basically. People who buy physical products, man, who buy hip hop albums now. You got your Apple Musics, your Spotify's, different platforms like that you can have an album at the press of a button. To me, I feel like that's, when you buy an album on iTunes, you're essentially buying air. You know what I'm saying? You're not buying, you're buying a file, basically. You're buying an internet file that only exists when you play it on the internet. Physical media has kind of gone out, where like CDs and tapes are now kind of coming back in, as well as the vinyl. It's coming back. It has come back as of recent times. I've been recollecting tapes again. I do own some vinyl as well. There's a lot of things, man, that people are just missing out on, man.
I think comic books and music have so much in common.
I do too. I do. I've always said that, man, that comics and hip hop kind of run in the same parallels because, it's art, first off, when you do, when you write a comic, it's like writing a rhyme, when you put out the book, it's like putting out an album, you know what I'm saying? You go on podcasts, that's like going to the radio show, you know what I'm saying? Except there ain't no freestyles to spit. You do like pop-ups, those are your shows. You go to comic conventions, those are like your shows, those are your summer jams, those are your big events,
I think
it also has an award show as well too, and there's award shows as well as also, so it's just like your Source, BET Awards, and so on.
I think all that is true, but we miss the novelty of it.
Yeah.
That like for instance, I'm an avid hip hop listener.
Mm-hmm.
You have an avid hip hop ear as well.
Yes.
You were the first person who put me on Rome Streets.
Really? Wow.
Yes, you are. I listened to the Paperbacks and Soundtracks podcast.
Oh wow. Okay. So you went and listened to the DJ Muggs album, then the album with Muggs.
I have every Rome Streets album after you talked about them. I got every single Rome Streets album and mixtape I could find.
Yo, tell me he's not comparable to like what Big L could have been, man. To me, he's like, he's cut from Big L's cloth. I feel like that. Like if Big L was still here, he would sound like Rome Streets, man. That's what I feel like.
I don't know if I have that type of affection for him yet, because I grew up with Big L's music, and I'm learning this guy now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he gives me Big L vibes because he got washed on that album with Ransom. I mean, he got washed.
Oh, really? Times. Yeah. I mean, Ransom's that's a. I mean, come on. Ransom is a beast, man. You know, he said it too. Like he said it on Twitter a couple of times. I follow him on Twitter, so he said that there's a couple of times where he wanted to change a couple verses, but he said, "Forget it. Might as well just let it rock." Man.
And that's why he doesn't give me Big L vibes. You know what I'm saying?
I could understand that. I could understand that to a degree. I feel like when I listen to him by himself, when it's just him and he's not like competing with like a Ransom, well, just Ransom, but I feel I get Big L vibes from him just because he's just crazy with the punchlines, crazy with the metaphors, just street to the core, you know, like that's what, like to me, that's what I got from L, man. So,
well, let me ask you, what makes hip hop stand out to you that made you want to do a fanzine, and what artists do you look for to feature in it as well?
All right, this is a good question. So, I'll tell you kind of the backstory of why I'm doing the fanzine now and how it came about. So, back in 2017, Prodigy had died. So, Prodigy of Mob Deep had died. So, around the day that he died, it kind of like set my world on fire a little bit because I had seen him a couple weeks prior at a Griselda show.
Wow. He
popped out, and it was in Webster Hall, but it was in the basement of Webster Hall, this show. So it was kind of tight knit. He walked by me and I was like, yo, I should go get a picture with Prodigy. And I kind of, I stutter stepped a little bit. And then by the time I made it outside, he was all the way up the block. And I was like, I'm not about to run after Prodigy. So 2 weeks later, he ended up dying. He ended up passing away. But that same day that Prodigy passed away, on my ride home from work, I was listening to Power 105. DJ Clue was spinning, and Clue was spinning all the Mob Deep joints, but he was, spinning the deep cuts. And he played this one particular Mob Deep song called Young Love, which samples Prince. So I remembered a mixtape that my cousin had owned when I was young called Mob Misses, and it was DJ J Love. So J Love had the Mob Misses mixtape, and I was like, yo, I never got to hear that Mob Misses mixtape. So I went looking for it like on YouTube, and I went looking for it like pretty much everywhere. I ended up finding a download link for it, and I paid like $5.99 for a download link to it. And from there, it just kind of got me back into wanting to hear older mixtapes. So I wanted to, like my downtime from doing the comic books, I would spend it scouring the deep, darkest depths of the internet, searching for DJ Clue mixtapes, DJ Doo-Wop mixtapes, old K-Slay mixtapes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just went deep diving for mixtapes, man. And from there, like, I had wanted to do like a podcast. And this was before like, the paperbacks. This was before, that stuff. And I was looking for like friends of mine to see if they knew mixtapes and mixtape culture. And none of my friends were really up on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I have a lot of like hip hop friends that like are hip hop that, that are doing things in the game, that are doing things in the industry, but nobody had like a profound knowledge of it the way I did, because I was so obsessed with mixtapes back in the day. I used to live on Broad Street and Market Street, Broad and Market, going to go get those mixtapes. I would be on Canal Street. I would be like all over. I bought mixtapes in Times Square, man. So long story short, man, I always wanted to interview DJ Doo-Wop because that was my favorite DJ coming up. And I always had it in the back of my mind that like, I wanted to do something to figure out a way that I could interview DJ Doo-Wop. And pandemic kind of happened. The pandemic happened. There were no more comic events. Comic cons were put on hold. I couldn't really pop up at comic book stores anymore. So it kind of left a void for me to do something. And then the idea came around again because I was reading these comic book fanzines. This one called Bubbles and another one called Strangers. So in these pages of these fanzines, they were interviewing like comic artists, comic book writers, people that had stuff going for themselves, maybe like back in the day. They had little sections where they were talking about like things they found in a dollar bin to pretty much anything. They were just talking about comic book culture. And I was like, yo, it would be dope if there was one for hip hop. And then it kind of, clicked in the back of my head. I was like, yo, there's that idea that you wanted to do an interview doo-wop. Why don't you reach out? And around that time, DJ Doo-Wop and Tony Touch, they did a versus. So I was like, yo, I could break that down. I could talk to Doo-Wop. I could hit people up and see what's good with some conversations. I was like, it's the pandemic. Nobody's doing anything. I was like, yo, this would be perfect. And that's where the idea for Street Dreams kind of came about.
That's an eloquent story.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I know it's hella long, man. My bad, man. I know it's like a...
No, that's a dope story. I appreciate every single part of what you said. I was thinking while you were saying it, because it's like, damn, that's just ingenious how God will make a way for something great to come out of a situation that made the world sit down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, it brings me back to the Ghostface and Raekwon verses, and where Ghost said, he was like, yo, God wanted things to kind of slow down a little bit. And that's why we had the pandemic kind of. I know I'm paraphrasing and I'm not saying exactly what he said, but that's kind of what I got from his message when he was talking during those verses.
See, the thing I love about the fanzines that you talk about is this. It's one-on-one conversation about love of something. Let me tell you something, yo. I remember getting my first ever mixtape. It was Ron G, my first Ron G mixtape. Yeah. And it's funny because look, my brother actually knows Ron G, which is hilarious to me. And he's been featured on his mixtapes, right?
Oh, wow. Who's your brother?
My brother goes by Java the Ancient One. That's his name right now.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. If you want his music, you'll find it. Or I'll give it to you if you really want it.
Okay.
But,
yeah, of course.
But Ron G brought out Miss Jones. Where I want to be, boy. And I had the biggest crush on Miss Jones ever back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So mixtape culture was always about who's the hottest new person that the industry hasn't gotten to yet. Now, mixtape culture is nothing but playlist culture.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, man.
So let me ask you this. What did you like better? The mixtape culture or the playlist culture, and why?
I love the mixtapes, man, because I remember like scouring, like I said, scouring market and broad and market, going everywhere, finding the new songs, finding trying to find like the new exclusive songs, trying to find unreleased gems. I always loved that particular thing about it. I loved it because that nobody else is hearing this right now unless they have this mixtape. I like the thing that I prided myself on was hearing the new stuff and being up on it early. I like being up on it on things early. I love knowing who Ransom was before most people know who Ransom is now. Just like putting you on the Rome streets. I like putting people onto things, man. So if I had to pick, I definitely miss the mixtapes just because, like, you had these classic moments, man. Like put it this way, like Triumph, right? Inspector Deck spit his verse from Triumph on Tony Touch's Power Cypher #1. So you got to hear that before it even came out. So by the time that came out, I already knew that verse because I heard it on Tony Touch. Like I always that's what I like about the mixtape culture. And the thing is now with these playlists is that you can get these songs yourself. You don't have like a DJ that's curating this, that's actually sitting there, maybe spinning, maybe not. You're not having someone talk over it and, you know, promote somebody from the hood, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, them promoting a friend or promoting, you know, the A&R that gave them the song or something. It just, they always had character. And I think that that's what the playlist kind of lacked.
I'm going to ask you a theory question. Since you're doing a fanzine, because I think somebody's going to probably bite your fanzine and try to make it an industry. I really do. Because that's what hip hop does. Hip hop is very, everybody says they want to be original, but it's a very copycat league, just like the NFL.
Absolutely. And
I want to ask you this. Just like playlist is the evolution or devolving of the mixtape, do you think the fanzine is the evolution of the blog?
I mean, that's a good question. I think, you know, if, put it this way, if it wasn't printed, if my fanzine wasn't printed, it would be a dope blog. So I could see it definitely being an evolution. As far as magazines, man, there's people that still do magazines. You know, there's not, it's like, you know, The Source and XXL, they still print, they print quarterly, you know, but people are still, you know, there's still Feds magazine, there's still other underground magazines as well. You know what I'm saying? King magazine is still a thing, you know, like not even, no. What, it's not King anymore. It's K Slay has it now. It's like Straight Stunting, where he still has the chicks with the big booties and all of that. So, you know, so people are still, you know, doing magazines. It's just now that you could pay to get in this. With Street Dreams, you gotta, to me, artists have to earn that. There isn't a thing where you could just pay for it. And that's the thing that I noticed, like even when I was an artist back in the day, you know, you could pay to get in magazines. I mean, you could have paid to get into The Source. You know, like you could pay your way into a lot of things, where my fanzine's a little different. I'm not charging people to be in it. I'm charging people to read the content, but I'm not charging no one to physically be in it, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing about the love of the game that makes it transparent. Is that when you really enjoy something and you show people how much you enjoy their content, a relationship is built.
Absolutely.
How do you build a relationship with the public through a fanzine different than you build it with a comic book, besides content?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, the comic books, it's a little different. I feel like with comic books, if you're not giving somebody something that they know, you know, or they're familiar with, they're not buying it. But with a magazine like Street Dreams, I'm giving you guys that are currently doing something, you know. So if you're deep into the culture and if you're deep into this underground hip hop, if you're deep into hip hop and you know you're on your Instagram, you're listening to the new guys, if you're into that kind of thing, then that's kind of how it sells. The content has to be dope, you know. And I think that's what stands out about Street Dreams is that the content is curated, it's dope. It's not something that, you know, it isn't like store-bought. It's like it's just genuine, you know. It's just like there's just, you know, me just genuinely listening to these guys and genuinely being a fan and picking the right artist to be in it, you know.
So talk about the fanzine. You have 3 issues out right now, right?
I have 4, actually.
4, okay. Let me go back to my notes. You have 4 issues of the fanzine out. The first one that I saw, I love the cover. It was a tape, like in a museum behind the row. Talk to me about that cover and what did it mean to you and why is it significant?
Okay, so the first issue was dedicated strictly to mixtape culture. So every interview that's in there is a DJ. So I interviewed J Arms, you know, the instrumental king. You know, I interviewed DJ P Cutter, who came out with the classic Street Wars series, which was a mixtape, which was the first mixtape of mixtapes. You know what I mean? None of the songs were ever given to him. He took them from other mixtapes and created mixtapes like that. And it was all the diss records. I had DJ Butter from Detroit, who's, you know, DJ'd for Proof, has, you know, done things with Eminem, Royce, all these guys, you know. Had DJ Doo-Wop in it, which was the main interview that I wanted. As far as the cover, that tape cover was to show you that everything that's in this magazine is about mixtapes. Every article in that magazine, in that specific issue, was about mixtapes and mixtape culture. You know, so I had interviewed like Ito. I don't know if you ever heard of Ito from Rochester, New York. I had him in there breaking down his 5 favorite mixtapes. You know, I reached out to some podcast guys that I know, some other artists that I know, and was just trying to get everybody's take on mixtapes. And it was funny because most people may have forgotten things. It made people dig. It made people go back and listen. And I think that that's what I love about that specific issue, was just that I was able to put forth that love that I have for mixtape culture. And through that, you know, I was able to, you know, through that specific issue, it got added to the Cornell Cornell University's hip hop collection. So in that collection, you know, my magazine is in there with African Bambaataa equipment, different record collections. It's just like, it was just crazy. That cover, to me, it reminded me of like the New Yorker. Like, I looked at it as like the hip hop New Yorker magazine. You know, that's what I thought of it as when I saw that cover.
I think the first issue of your magazine, a fanzine, is a classic, because even how the art goes with the story. You're right. You have 4. I didn't see the 4th one. The second issue, you have like a crate with records on it, but it's built like a temple. That's really deep. Talk about that.
Yeah. So that wasn't me. Like, I'm not drawing these covers. So the first cover was done by Dave Proch, who's a Philadelphia-based artist that I had met in my travels. The second cover is done by PQ Design, who's done a lot of covers for a lot of new guys. Like Rome Streets has some stuff done. I think Ransom has some stuff. A lot of like the newer guys go to PQ Design for their covers, especially for covers like tape art. And I didn't look at it as more of a crate. I looked at it as kind of like a jukebox machine. To me, it looks like a jukebox machine with the CD or like the record going into it. That's what I saw it as. But it has like a mosaic to it, because that was like the style that he was drawing in. Because there's inside the magazine, I did an interview with Shay Noir from Buffalo, and who's just a crazy spitter, who's just phenomenal. And he drew her face, and it was like in a mosaic style. It was just crazy, man. That cover, I don't know, it's like art is up for like interpretation, you know what I mean? So like, you see it as a crate, I see it as a jukebox machine, but you know.
That's the eloquence of art. Yo, I want to get connected with Shay Noir. You holding back. I want her heritage hip hop, and I also want to connect with her for real on some artistic integrity type stuff. But Street Dreams Volume 3, Flowers for the Dead.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So, man, that was a crazy one, because when I first started working on the magazine, it took some time to get to kind of do. So I had started it in 2020 after issue 3 was done, and then it slowly progressed, man. So, you know, the first person that passed away was MF Doom. So originally the cover was just gonna be MF Doom. Then Black Rob passed away. Then after Black Rob, Shock G passed away. Then DMX passed away. And I was like, damn, yo, so many people passed away. I was like, this cover can't just be just MF Doom, who's one of my favorite artists as well. Well, all those guys on that cover have, you know, songs on the soundtrack to my life, you know. But I had reached out to around the time that I did Street Dreams 1, when I put it out, an artist had kind of seen my grind from the comic books and seen me doing this new venture, which was Street Dreams. And his name is Chad Cavanaugh from Cali. I think he's from San Francisco. He was doing a lot of these like red pencil drawings, which is what he did on the cover. So he was doing them of artists, of people. Like he would just do these. He called them the unauthorized red pencil portraits. So when it came time for the cover, I just hit him up. I was like, "Yo, I want to do a Doom cover." And then he was like, "Yeah, I'm down to do the Doom cover." And then after that, that's when Black Rob passed away, shot, and then DMX. I was like, "Yo, since the original inception of the idea, 4 other artists passed away. Can you do, for these 4 heads as well?" And he was like, "Absolutely." So it came out a little after DMX passed away. So I was like, I just wanted to just make a piece to just give tribute to these artists and just to let hip hop know that that was Street Dreams giving them their flowers. The
4th issue is true to my heart because all the album covers on the floor, man.
Yeah.
What the album, Nori, The Chronic, and so many others. And then there's a young man reading the magazine.
Yeah.
With Biz Markie and MF Doom on his wall. Where the nuclear bomb is going on outside. Talk about that cover and translate it for us.
All right, man. So to be honest, man, with Street Dreams, man, a lot of people just hit me up all the time trying to get their art out. And the person that drew this cover, he was an avid fan of Street Dreams, and he hit me up. He was like, "Yo, I have this cover idea. I think you'll like it." He's like, would you take a submission for the cover? I was like, "Sure, let me see it." So he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna color it, then I'm gonna send it to you." So he's like, "Yo, you ready to see this cover?" Sent me the cover over, and immediately I was floored by it because all those albums that are on the floor, like I could tell you, the Big Pun, Capital Punishment, Nas, It Was Written, the Beat Nuts, I Do See Redman, Rock Marcy is in there, the Grave Diggers, you see Cameron, you see Mob Deep, Lost Boys, Sean Price, Razkaz, trying to see who else is in there, like the Alcoholics is in there, you see Tribe Called Quest, Ghostface is in there. These are all albums that I currently listen to / grew up on. And like I said, I had no say or anything in what albums went in there, what anything went on in this cover. I just approved it, So the person reading the book, a lot of people have been like, "Oh, yo, that's you." And the funny thing is, I asked the artist if that was me. He was like, "Nah." He was like, "Nah, but we could say it is." So that kind of made me laugh. But as far as the nuclear bomb going off, it's just, hey, man, he's just reading it as the world is ending outside of his house. He's, experiencing the culture. You see the vine, the record player, the big speakers. He's just, it looks like he's rocking some polo. Wearing the Air Forces, wearing the Uptowns, he just looks like a guy that's just, in love with the culture, just like we are,
Yeah, I thought it was a throwback tribute to Prodigy, actually. It's a war going on outside. Like, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a dope cover. It's a dope
Absolutely.
cover.
Absolutely, man. Like when I saw it, I was floored by it. It's to the point that, I didn't even use the Street Dreams font that I use on it. He did that. I was like, yo, that's incredible. Like, yeah. And it's the cover that people, people were attracted to the issue 1 cover. The issue 2 cover, most people, I guess, didn't really understand what was going on in the picture. Then, Street Dreams 3, people were really attracted to that cover. We also printed up a t-shirt, and those things sold like hotcakes. People went nuts for those. And then, Street Dreams 4, I was a little worried about it because the cover, because it's so dope, but it's so like, I don't know if it was just, I thought it was just dope to me, but I didn't know how people were going to feel about it, man. And when I put it out and I put out the cover, it was the best-selling issue, the best-selling new issue. Besides the issue 1, issue 4 was the one that, between issue 1, 3, and 4 were the best selling ones that people just flock to, and this one happens to be the cover that everybody is excited about and talks about.
It's attractive. It's very, very well done. I love the art on this one. Like, I actually want to download it and put it on Heritage Hip Hop to support you, because that is dope. And the artist too. Salute to the artist.
Yeah, man. It's a dude from Bloomfield named Shane Nazarian. He's on Instagram as Angst for Memories. He's really dope, man. And I'm thinking about doing some comic strips in the magazine. And I think I'm going to reach out to him, man. I think he's going to be a frequent collaborator for sure.
The evolution of hip hop is going into the mainstream. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I did an interview with DJ Yella, and I asked him straight how the Compton influenced Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Because one of the iconic scenes from the 100 Miles and Running video was in the damn game. Also, one of the scenes from the Straight Outta Compton movie actually is from the damn game. You know what I'm saying? Like NWA has influenced the culture in such a way that it bleeds into everything. Where have you seen hip hop bleed into that surprises you to this day that you still can't get over it?
I mean, hip hop is blended into everything, dude.
Is it?
I believe so. I mean, hip hop is the biggest music genre right now. Hip hop has become pop music now. Like it's sad to say this thing that started in the Bronx, is now considered pop music now. You got everybody doing songs with rappers, singers. You got Taylor Swift had Kendrick Lamar on a song. Dua Lipa had The Baby on a record. Like hip hop is, I think has, it's blended into fashion. It's blended into really everything. Video games, to the point that if you play San Andreas, there's hip hop stations that you could tune to in the car. I think hip hop is, think about NBA Live. NBA Live has hip hop music on the soundtracks, and there's even artists are in those games too as playable characters. I feel like hip hop has kind of graduated into kind of being, American culture, basically. If you think about it.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
But one thing about hip hop that it doesn't do, it's everywhere, no doubt. But its impact isn't everywhere yet.
You think so?
How many rappers are selling cryptocurrency to the inner city children to make sure they have something?
Well, that's the thing. See, like I know artists now that are kind of talking about crypto. I mean, the first time I ever heard Ethereum was through an artist that I interviewed called his name is Josiah the Gift. He's based out of East Orange. And he was talking about wanting to make an NFT, or is in the process of releasing an NFT. You got Big Pun has an NFT out. I think Nas does as well. A lot of guys are jumping into the NFTs. I know they're not necessary. I think Nas also bought something in Bitcoin. I think. I know one of his businesses is through is a Bitcoin, coin that he bought himself into as well. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a popular subject, but people are definitely hip to Bitcoin, and people are talking about Bitcoin for sure.
Well, money is always going to be a conversation because our country's so fucked up, unfortunately. Yeah. And
also, man, not to cut you off, man, but the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin was in a hip hop movie. I was just talking about this today. There's a movie out. I know you watched the Wu-Tang Saga, right? The guy that plays Raekwon. The first time I ever heard, Shamar Moore. So the first time I ever heard of Bitcoin was in a movie that he was in with A$AP Rocky. And I can't think of the name right now, but he was playing a drug dealer, like a weed dealer that was getting paid in Bitcoin. And that was the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin. And that movie came out, like, I want to say maybe 2016 or so, 2017-ish. I got to get the name of it, but that's the first time I ever heard Bitcoin. Yeah.
Imagine if we could have put the money in back then.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, do you have any Bitcoin?
No.
Yeah, I got. I did invest into some Bitcoin recently.
I don't have the money for it. Like I'm looking to get I'm looking to get my. I want the whole investment, not the piece of investment.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you this, because the fanzine is going to be a very important moniker in hip hop, right? Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna kind of wait to the rapid fire questions to ask you some of the stuff I got. But being that the fanzine is going to be a moniker in hip hop, what is the goal of it to keep it long lasting, not just a notch under your belt of creation?
Man, I get this question a lot, man, and the goal for me, to be honest, is just to have fun, man, and really just talk about the art, man, and really just put a spotlight on guys that I think deserve it, you know, and to interview people that are currently making some of the best music that's come out in a while, you know. It's the one thing that I'm not trying to get rich off of. You know, I didn't come into it with hopes of being the richest person in the world through this. I just wanted to talk about hip hop. So my goal is, if I could just keep putting a spotlight on artists and it be a thing where it's like kind of like Stretch and Bobbito, you know, something like that, where it could be something that's just classic and heralded as a classic thing, then that's what I want it to be. I don't have a real end goal, and I haven't thought of one. I just want to just make a magazine and, you know, keep it going as much as possible, and hopefully put people onto things that maybe they haven't heard or, you know, should be hearing.
So let's have a journalistic conversation before we close out.
Okay. Journalistically
speaking, where is hip hop today to you, and how does your magazine carry it and keep it alive?
To me, man, I think hip hop is in a great place. Actually, I have no complaints when it comes to hip hop. You know, I'm not really crazy into mainstream, but I still listen to a lot of it. You know, but I think that hip hop has these kind of lanes now where you can gauge what you want to listen to. You can, you know, through like playlists, through, the different music platforms that we all listen to. You know, we're able to tune out things, and things don't have to exist. You know, we're able to listen to, if we want to hear, you know, street raps, you know, we know who to go to. You know, we know where to listen to it. We know where to find it. You know, we're able to tune out the things that are bad. So I think that hip hop's in a great place. As far as us upholding hip hop, I mean, Street Dreams, I always tell people, you know, our new moniker is, our new tagline is, you know, if you get issue 4 and you read the back of it, our tagline is culture never dies. So in this magazine, you're not going to see people with purple hair. You're not going to see people with rainbow hair. You know, everything that's spoken about in here is things that I feel represent hip hop. And I'm doing my best to make sure that there is no fugaziness in this magazine. Everything in here is strictly hip hop. It's, you know, I love the lyrical miracle stuff, you know. I like dance music. I like all of it. But the stuff that goes in here is just stuff that I feel needs the spotlight, like I said. So we're doing our best to keep hip hop alive, but it really depends on the culture itself, you know? And we're doing our best to make sure that, you know, we spotlight great artists and people that deserve it and people that are doing things within the culture.
And salute to you for it, because I am 100% behind this creation. And I want to talk to you about doing more with it in the future, if possible.
Absolutely, man.
And more importantly, you're holding the underdogs of the culture into the light, because the mixtape DJ is a forgotten DJ.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays where everybody calls themselves DJs and y'all not, just because y'all make playlists and y'all got Serato to make you a DJ. in my opinion. But the mixtape DJ held the culture down, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, the mixtape also killed a lot of the culture as well. And that's something for another conversation. Nah, this is about your magazine. That's something for another conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody blames 50 Cent for changing the game with the mixtape culture, but 50 Cent killed the culture.
Yeah, because guys were putting out tapes without having to get DJs to host them and scratch them. I understand that.
Man, the hell with that. It sped the game up, and then it made the 360 deal prevalent. So people tried to use the mixtapes as albums. So
absolutely,
because now you see the mixtapes on the streaming services.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like the first person that made an album out of mixtapes that I heard of, at least, I thought Ransom was the first one to do that, where he did a whole street album. He had a mixtape called Pain, Time, and Glory.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me was the first mixtape that I heard that was on original beats, that didn't have a DJ screaming on it. It was a straight album. To me, that was the first person I ever heard. But a lot of people did that though. You know, like you had Mob Deep that did the Free Agents mixtape, and they did it through Koch. And I think the person that did those mixtape albums, I shouldn't blame Ransom. It's Dipset, because they were the ones that were doing those deals on Koch. So to me, it was Koch that did those mixtape albums that people were releasing, man. That's Koch Records, man. You're like your Land Speed Records and those things, man.
And we could blame so many people behind it. So
absolutely.
Y'all messed up the game, man. So with that being said, everybody, this is Karev of Heritage Hip Hop, chilling with my man Kalani Caraballo of Street Dreams Fanzine. A new moniker in hip hop that you need to take advantage of. Give them your social media and how they can get the magazine, the fanzine.
Yep. So on Instagram, it's at Street Dreams Fanzine. It's just the way it sounds. You can buy the magazine on streetdreamsfanzine.bigcartel. The link is in our bio. We do sell digital copies of them as well. If you're not into, holding physical goods. So all issues are available. We also release a mixtape with them. So, I'm kind of a mixtape DJ now, man.
Yo, that's dope.
But I don't scratch nothing, man. I just throw drops in there, man.
That's dope. Look, man. Hey, that's an extension of your love for the culture, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's time for the rapid fire questions. You ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, everybody. He's been on here for comic books. Now we get to hear his version of the rapid fire questions as a media journalist. The rapid fire questions are not yes, no questions. These are questions gauged and based upon his knowledge of the culture, himself, and the craft that he's in. Ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
What made the mixtape evolve? Was it the mix CD or the new voices from upcoming DJs that no one heard before, in your opinion?
My opinion, that made them prevalent. I would think the upcoming mixtape DJs, man, people that wanted to come in the culture and felt like they could change the game, man. That's usually how it starts, man. Most people feel that they can throw their hat in the ring and compete. So I would think it's definitely the new up and coming mixtape DJs for sure.
One of my favorite mixtape memories is hearing Evil Streets remix with Onyx and Method Man.
Oh wow!
What song did you hear on a mixtape that made you go bananas because it was not out on any other tape or official album before?
I would have to think Dead Prez, the Onyx and Dead Prez Last Days remix. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was on Dead Prez's mixtape. Turn Off the Radio Volume 2. That sticky verse is always a classic to me, man.
Okay. Like I said, everybody, it's about culture right now.
Yeah.
If there was a mixtape that you think could come out today and change the world, what would it be?
Ours. I hate to be cocky, man, but I think our tapes are the best, man. We're taking all the new stuff I'm giving you guys new artists to listen to, man. You know, I'm sprinkling in them in between, you know, your current favorites, man. So I would think we do our, you know, our due diligence and we do the best, man, to make sure that we put out a dope product, man. I mean, my product travels from Silver Lake, New Jersey, all the way to Japan, man. So
salute. So everybody on Heritage Hip Hop, you hear about my wonderful playlist. Y'all should try to get on his as well. Network and build relationships. That's what it's all about. My next question is this. What's the best mixtape you ever heard that you would put up there as a classic album? Not a mixtape.
DJ Doo-Wop's 95 Live.
That was one of the greatest mixtapes ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, man.
I remember. Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
You got it still?
Yeah, man. Let me tell you. So, shout out to DJ Doo-Wop, who sells all his mixtapes on one flash drive.
For $90 probably or more, isn't it?
Nah, man. This was only 50.
50?
It's worth it.
That's
it is worth it. It is worth it. Yeah, man.
I remember
95 Live, man. 95 Live.
Are you from the era of Union Market?
Nah, I don't remember Union Market.
So check this out. Union Market, you know, on Springfield Avenue where Home Depot is?
Yeah.
That used to be Union Market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Union Market was our flea market for everything.
Yeah.
That's in New Jersey. That's when Mortal Kombat first came out.
Oh, wow.
You
really?
think I'm lying, do your history, everybody, because Mortal Kombat was big in Willowbrook Mall, Union Market, and downtown North. Anywhere else, yeah. I don't even know if 8 on the Break existed yet. All right, for real. And when we went to Union Market, right? Union Market had banging Chinese food and baked potatoes. It was a comic book collector's dream. But if you like mixtapes, that's when you had the mixtapes with the orange covers, the blue covers, the white covers, the red covers, and rainbows. And that's where we first got that mixtape.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Taking that to school, man, burn me a copy, son. Let me get one of those done. Yo, let me get one of, man. 95 Live was crazy.
I mean, man, like, I always tell this story to people, man. When I was in high school was when Get Rich or Die Trying came out. Okay. And, man, that came out my freshman year, man. Yo, because of 50, I ate lunch for like 2 weeks off the strength of selling that album for selling that album in my gym class to people because I was able to get it early, man.
Look, hey, man, you do what you gotta do. And look, I'm gonna tell you something. Mixtape culture, it was exciting because it was who you would battle who had the newest songs that nobody heard. Mixtape culture. All right, what was more exciting to you? Mixtape culture or recording songs off the radio to have the newest song?
Oh man. See, man, because I come from that era too, man. But I would say the mixtapes, because it made it easier. Because back in the day, man, they weren't playing the same song 15 times a day. So if you missed the song before you could hit record with the tape, it was a wrap. It was gone. You would have to wait hours on end to do that. And mixtape culture, I think mixtapes made it easy for that, man. You know how long, man, put it this way, I could tell you a song that I remember having to wait so long to hear, man. That No Pigeons by Sporty Thieves, man. When that came out, man, I wanted the tapes. I wanted that on tape so bad, man, that I would miss it every time. Miss it every time. And there was only one time I remember a friend of mine recorded it for me. And they handed me a black tape, a black Maxwell tape. And they were like, here, because you've been waiting for this. And I put it on and it was No Pigeons.
Yo, respect to you. That's a great story. I'm going to co-sign you. You know what song I heard? Do you remember When We Ride on Our Enemies from Fat Joe?
Yeah.
Do you know that song came out 3 to 4 years before it came out, printed?
Mm-hmm.
K Slay played the song one time.
I'll do you one better, man. Remember, you know Lean Back?
Yeah.
By Fat Joe?
Yeah.
Fat Joe had did that whole those verses. He had recorded them on G Unit's My Buddy instrumental. And I had that on a K Slay tape. And I'll never forget it because I had it on a K-Slay tape. It was Drama Hour 9 and Part 9. And I remember it. I was like, yo, remember thinking it was so crazy because he was going that whole talking about the Rucker. And it was to the point that by the time Lean Back came out, I already knew those verses already. And people were like, yo, how do you know this so fast? I was like, yo, he spit that freestyle on DJ K-Slay's tape. Yeah, I used to play them back to back. Yeah, man. Like, that's how deep it goes. That's how deep it goes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you how dope the mixtapes brought the culture forward, how they did it, and how exciting it is. And that's why I love your fanzine, because you taking the niche of the mixtape culture is something most people don't even have the balls to do, because no one's gonna dig, and find mixtape DJs who are obscure nowadays.
Yeah.
The simple fact that you're finding obscure DJs to giving them the chance to tell their story, I salute you. I can't wait to see who else you have in your bag, because I know a lot of mixtape DJs by name, but I never knew them to talk to them or get their story. So I appreciate you for doing that. That's just eloquent, dope.
Yeah, man. I might have to, because I did that only for like issue 1. So I might have to bring that concept back, man, and do it again and get a whole round of people, because I missed out on some. Like, I hit up Ron G, and I spoke to Ron G about it. And he was like, I was like, yo, I want to interview you for this magazine. And he was like, all right, man, send me a copy. I was like, yo,
I want to see if it was tangible.
Yeah. I was like, yo, this is the first one. I was like, I don't have any copies yet, but I can show you like what I got so far. But never heard from him ever again.
No, you know why? I know that's a spiritual test. Look, let me tell you something. A lot of people come up with ideas, but a lot of people are not consistently building on ideas. Absolutely. So he's asking you for consistency to see if you real or not on some bullshit.
Absolutely. No, and I respected that.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
I mean, look at where you at right now. Come to him right now. Like, now I want to see one. Like, nigga, I got 4.
Yeah,
what?
I got to
and a t-shirt. Matter of fact, you can have this t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I gotta try that for sure, man. But I definitely want to, like, I've been interviewing a lot of good people, man. Like, this past issue, man, you know, I had to like figure out more ways of getting, you know, more people in it, man. So I created like a section in the magazine called Back to the Grill Again, where I interview
Elder Sensei.
I interviewed Elder Sensei for issue 4 about the unusual. In the last issue 3, I interviewed Cuban Link. So that's how I kicked it off. I interviewed Cuban Link about his album 24K that never came out, that only existed on the bootlegs, man. So
yep, fact.
I'm working on someone for the next one for sure, man. That I think it'll be dope, man. So I'm looking for ways to get legends in there. I got a section called Watch Out Now, which is a tribute to the Beatnuts.
Yeah.
So with the Beatnuts thing, so that's how I interview like up and comers, like guys that are maybe not like as established as like an Elder Sensei or, you know, or like an Ito or these guys. So that's how I got like Fat Boy Sharif in there. You know, I'm interviewing a lot of like really dope people, man. Like this is something dope, man. I didn't think I you know, I do this, so it's me creating it. So I don't get the excitement as everybody else does, unfortunately. But it is exciting to do, you know, because I know that we're doing something different from what everybody else is doing.
Facts and salute. We got three more questions, and then we're gonna fade off on this one. All right.
Let's do it.
Next question, which is a very big question.
Okay.
What side of hip hop does your magazine enhance besides the mixtapes that will make people look into the other parts of the culture besides the mixtape culture itself?
Well, that's the thing, man. You know, I tell people all the time that the first issue is the only one that's strictly dedicated to the mixtape culture. Mm-hmm. Every other issue past issue 1 has been kind of a mixed bag of, you know, different artists. Like, we've had Terminology in there. We've had Josiah the Gift. I have Esoteric of Czarface. You know, your Cuban Links, your Elder Senseis. You know, I'm giving you pretty much like the independent side of hip hop. I'm giving you the new independent hustlers that are coming out. I'm giving you, you know, the new guys, the you know, the underdogs really. So that's really, to me, that's the spotlight that we're kind of casting on everybody is, you know, the people that you may have never heard of and the people that you should hear of. Because a lot of these guys are making dope hip hop, man. So to me, it's just, I look for people that are just on their grind independently, you know, people that are moving, you know, physical product, that are releasing cassettes, that are, you know, releasing vinyl, they're releasing CDs, you know. Yeah, I think that's what we're enhancing the most is just the underground. But at the same time, we're giving you the underground, we're giving you the past, we're giving you the, you know, the present in terms of what's going on the underground or what's going on in the independent scene. Like I said, there is no, you're not going to read about like Little Durk in here. You know, you're not going to read about like, you know, like guys like that, unfortunately, you know, but
You said
it's real
unfortunately?
hip-hop. Yeah, you know, I mean, there's people that like, yo, like when I released the first magazine, man, Universal Records contacted me about putting people in the magazine.
That's dope.
You know, it's captured people's attention. The problem with that was they wanted to see numbers. And I'm like, this is the first issue. And they were trying to give me, you know, they were starting a like a line of it was like a thing, I think like a 25 and under kind of thing that they were promoting.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, man, the people that read this magazine are older. They're, you know, it's really 25 and up that are reading it, maybe even a little older than that, you know? So it's people that you know, people that, like I said, that the people that read Street Dreams, that support Street Dreams, also are the ones that are buying new artists' vinyls releases and cassettes and, you know, CDs. These aren't people that are just, you know, they're supporting artists by buying merch, you know? They're not like commercialized, because this magazine isn't commercial at all, you know?
And that's the essence of what the culture is.
Absolutely.
So second to last question.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 5 artists people need to look forward to. Not only, not saying that they're going to be in your magazine, but because you think people are, if they love the culture, should listen to these 5 new artists or artists that they may not know of.
Boom. So I'll give you Josiah the Gift. Mm-hmm. Is an artist based out of East Orange, by way of Brooklyn. He has an album called Iron Mike. You can find it on Apple Music and Spotify. Listen to him. There's let's see, trying to think who else, man. There's a new camp that's coming up called The Umbrella. It's an artist. They're a whole coalition basically, man. They got Mickey Diamond from Detroit. They got Pro Dillinger. He's from upstate New York. There's more as well, man. Josiah the Gift is also a part of them. Let's see. There's Ty Farris from Detroit, who's really dope. Who's a crazy spitter. You know, Rashid Chappelle from Passaic, New Jersey. You know, that's a guy that people should be listening to as well. Primo spins him all the time. Who else? Radimus. There's, you know, Shay Noir. You know, I think I've listened to a little bit more than 5, but yeah, man, just
it's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of great artists out there, man. A lot of guys that are coming up, like Fatboy Sharif is another one. That's another one that I'm hugely has my support, that I'm behind every step of the way.
Yeah, Gandhi Loves Children was nominated for the Heritage Hip Hop Award.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Who won that album of the year? Was that D Bridges that won?
No, the main one, and it was, remember, it was the main one. It was the COVID one because people pushed the albums back, and I wanted to include them.
Uh-huh.
The main one was Real as Promised, the alumni album.
Okay.
And the other one was Jay Wonder for his album, Young, YOU, G, You and God.
Okay.
Those are the 2 that won. But Fatboy Sharif got a lot of love off that album. They were like, yo, this is bananas. Like, this is a classic.
Yeah,
I love
man.
This. Yeah. Fatboy Sharif's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites too, man. I think he's out of Jersey, the guy that really has a chance to really do some damage in this game. I think it's him because nobody rhymes like him. He has his own style. He has his own way of doing things. His videos are way different than nobody. He's not just standing in front of, graffiti art and rapping. Like, he's giving you a visual. He's giving you like, a peek into his mind. I don't think a lot of artists are doing that nowadays, man. And I think he's the one that's really going to really change things because he's just too dope. He's way too dope.
Facts.
That's a guy that, like I said, I love him like a brother, man. Like, God can strike me down right now, man. I believe he's gonna win. He's really destined to win because ain't nobody doing it like him. I don't feel that way. Yeah, that's how I feel, man. Yeah. That's a guy. I'll take a bullet for that dude, man. That's how much I love him, bro. Like, that's how much like I really love that dude, man. Like,
yeah, support to him. Like I said, y'all don't know who Fatboy Sharif is. Check out Gandhi Loves Children. You could go to heritagehiphop.com and click on the award links, which is still up. Go click and see the stream, but I actually let you buy it on Bandcamp. And also check out his first album, solo album, Ape Twin.
Yeah, that was a dope one too.
That was great.
Yeah. Too short, man. Too short, man. Damn.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, I got Gandhi Loves Children on tape, man. I'm excited about that. Yeah, man.
You got the deluxe?
Nah, because you know what? The deluxe, he didn't. It was only digital, man. But I'm about to show you right now. Hold up, man. Also, man, another group that's really dope too, man. Arm & Hammer.
There you go. That's it right there.
Yeah, you gotta listen to Arm & Hammer. They just put out a album with Alchemist, man. They're really dope too. We're into Arm & Hammer.
I think I have it.
Yeah, they're dope. They're dope too, man.
I think I had the digital, yeah.
Yeah, if you're into that eclectic sound, man, those guys are really dope too, man.
Yeah, I mean, I focus on New Jersey and underground.
Yeah, stuff, so nah, that's
whatever
dope,
you have, always share, and I'll give you what I have too, of course.
Bro,
you don't got D Bridges, and that's one of the best albums that have come out this year so far.
I gotta check it out, man.
You mess with Billion Man Rebellion, right?
Nah, man, you gotta send me some people, man.
Hey,
you gotta
send
me some people. But listen,
same
man,
to you. But yeah.
Listen, man. Listen to Josiah the Gift, Iron Mike.
I know that name. I'm telling you, I know that name.
Yeah.
Let me see him real quick. I know that name.
Yeah, man. I got the album.
Yeah, show it to me.
I'll show it to you right now. Hold up, man. I got a whole bunch of CDs right here, man. Pardon me, man. Right here, man. This is the album right here.
I have seen that before.
Yeah, man.
I haven't heard it though.
Listen to that album, man. My God, that guy is incredible.
Okay.
That is one of my favorites coming out of Jersey, man. It's just crazy because he's like a transplant basically, but he's based out of like East Orange. And...
Okay, I've already marked it. I marked it on my title. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
If I like it, and he got a new one called Remain Raw.
Yeah, that's his new one, and I think he got something coming real soon. Another album too coming out real soon.
Well, check this out. If it's something I like, I'm gonna get both his albums on the strength for you, like I did Rome Streets. I got like 13 albums or something from Rome Streets. I got the whole discography I could find, which is crazy.
Yeah, that guy's incredible, man.
But I'm gonna rock with that on the strength for you. Plus, you got Mike Tyson on the cover. That's my favorite boxer. So you already know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Then you'll like that Iron Mike album. That shit sounds like a dude that's just. He sounds like a young Mike Tyson, man. He's rapping like a young Mike Tyson. That's how crazy that album is. Right. That album is incredible, man. That's another one that I stand on, man, for sure.
Well, I'm gonna send you some albums I think you should check out. You just let me know how you like them.
Hell yeah.
Send them to your IG, all right?
Yeah, hell yeah, do it.
All right, so this is the last question of this episode. We thank y'all for joining us on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. If you're joining us on YouTube, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share, notification bell, and all them buttons because we need you to help us make this platform great. And this is great because you're joining us on the platform. If you are streaming this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor FM, etc., please give us a 5-star review. I'm asking for 5. If there was 10, I want 10. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is a great podcast platform, and we're thankful that you're here. Our digital real estate is heritagehiphop.com, where everything comes together there. So join us there. Members of heritagehiphop.com get exclusive playlists like the Art of Story Rhymes Part 1 that we put out celebrating all the storytellers of hip hop. And we got Heritage Hip Hop playlist number 9, which is some of the new artists and some mainstream artists that we listen to today that we would like to share with you. You know what I'm saying? Heritage Hip Hop is available on all social media, even Clubhouse. So you can check us out there. All right, make sure you follow Mr. Caraballo on Street Dreams Fanzine at Instagram.
Yes, sir.
And check out his comic book line because he has some of the craziest books. The Haunted House John is like crazy and I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Make sure you follow his comic book career too because he's also featured on Heritage Hip Hop under Blurred Hop, which is our nerd culture of hip hop, which is connected hip hop to comic book culture, video games, and things of that nature as well. All right.
Yes.
So my last question is this, and we're gonna go out with a bang. All right.
Let's do it.
You have a budget for a $10,000 issue. All $10,000 goes into your book. What is the dream interview, story, or artist you want to expose in that book?
Oh man, yo, you know what's funny, man? I get asked this question. I did a podcast recently and they asked if I had like a dream interview. I don't really have one, man. The person I would have loved to have interviewed is Prodigy, man. And he's passed away, unfortunately, man. But if I could, get like a hologram and, we could get Prodigy to talk to us from beyond the grave, man, by somehow, some way. I would invest the whole 10,000 into that technology.
Okay. So Prodigy is your number one of all time?
As of recent years, yeah, he's the one MC that in recent times that I've related to in many different ways. My favorite MC I used to always tell people that I'm a Hove guy. So, Jay-Z was my favorite. But in the last few years, man, it's really been Prodigy. Prodigy has been my favorite MC.
Sidebar, the Hegelian dialect.
Hegelian dialect, yeah.
How did that hit you? Part 1, 2, and 3.
Man, so I love that album. It's funny because after he passed away, I realized I didn't have H&IC. And I had went to FYE before it closed. And they had just got a whole box of those Hegelian dialectics. And I bought it, and now you can't find that album anymore. You can't find it on streaming. Good luck finding it on Discogs. You're gonna pay like $100, $200 on that. That album was incredible. I think it was his best work, man, because he was talking about different worldly things. Like, I know you must have heard the album then, that the sound bites that he was taking from. I saw that documentary. And that documentary is called Propaganda. And there's a whole crazy story behind it where it was made by North Korea and it was smuggled out of North Korea, and it was made, they don't know the reason behind it, they don't know no background to it. It was smuggled out of North Korea, and it just exposes America, man. It just exposes, like, it makes you just think about things really differently, man. It's on YouTube, man, where it's just, it's crazy. If you got time to watch it, man, that's a good one. When I heard that album, I was like, yo, where is he getting these sound bites from? And I did my Googles and I found it somehow, some way, man. And yeah.
Well, everybody out there, Street Dreams Fanzine is not only a publication about hip hop, it's a love dedication to the culture which we all share. So I ask you, please give this magazine your time, invest in it, not only time, but monetarily, because you're going to get something, a piece of art and a work that is worth your time and worth passing down to others who want to know what the culture is. When they ask people to find hip hop for me, we hope that you point them not only to Heritage Hip Hop, but Street Dreams Fanzine as well.
I appreciate that.
So with that being said, this is Karev of Heritage Hip Hop, with my man K. Caraballo, my guy, CEO of W Comics and of the Street Dreams Fanzine. And we both say peace.
Yeah.
We out.
Yeah.